God can heal. God can heal. Oh yeah. He can heal. And He can mend the broken. He can mend your broken.
Hello, it's Nate Uplifting Others. I'll be talking about substance abuse. I spoke with someone and they just gave me some insight on why they became an addict, or like what played a role in them becoming an addict and an alcoholic. So they said that they became addicted to drugs to cover up the guilt, pain, the shame, and to hide behind it, in a sense. And they were exposed to drugs and alcohol at an early age. And as a way to cope when you don't talk to people and you become even more overtaken by the drugs and alcohol. When you don't talk about having an addiction, it make things worse as well. And if you don't realize it, you don't feel like it's a problem, so you continue to do it. And once you realize that you have a problem and you're addicted to drugs or you're addicted to alcohol, and when you realize you have a problem, they said that it's like you know you have it, but it feels like it's too late to stop doing what you're doing. And it's like it's happiness when you're drunk or high, because it helps suppress thoughts of abuse. So this person was sexually abused as a child and on up to a teenager, and that plays a role. Like, you want to just be happy, you want to be numb to the things that you can't forget, and that's why they became addicted to drugs and alcohol. And they said that it creates false happiness. Like, when you're high or when you're drunk, you're thinking about just at that very moment. So you're happy. It gives you a false happiness. You're happy at that very moment while you're drunk or you're high, and then when you come down, it's back to reality. So what do you do when that happens? You get drunk or you get high all over again. It's a cycle. When you're not drunk or high, those feelings and thoughts are all there. Depression kicks in, and you become short with your patience, and you're just short-tempered, and you get frustrated easy, and you're always on edge, and you're withdrawn and less focused, and having flashbacks. So the abuse plays a part. Like, to not have those feelings and emotions and have flashbacks, what can you do to help yourself? That when that's all you know is a certain thing, you're gonna run to it. They said that they were exposed to drugs and alcohol at an early age, so you're gonna go to, not all people. This is not for everyone. Everyone is not the same. We have to be mindful of that. Everyone doesn't think the same as well. So when you know that one thing or those things to help you, and they may not be good for you, but that's what you know. So what you're gonna do? You're going to get high, or you're going to get drunk, because you feel like that's your happiness at that very moment. It makes you believe that continuing on with addiction is so much better than dealing with the pain and hurt. And that's how they felt, because like, who wants to be in pain or think about their abuse? To deal with everything that you've been through, especially being sexually abused, it's hard. Like, the flashbacks, the nightmares, and just constantly thinking about what you've been through. It's hard, and everyone has their own ways of coping with it. And I asked the person if they wanted me to say a quote or whatever, and the quote that they said was, "Happiness can be attained by anyone that seeks true happiness." And I asked the person like what they meant by that, but it's pretty clear. What you see as happiness will be your happiness, pretty much. So a fact that I have is, boys who grow up without coming to terms with their childhood abuse often struggle as men with addiction. And I'm pretty sure this is for women as well. Like, when you don't get the proper help that you need when you are abused, and you don't know those better coping skills, what do? You go to things that you're exposed to. Some people eat, some people get high and get drunk, and they're happy at that very moment until their high goes down, or they're not drunk anymore, and they start thinking about those pains that they've been through. And what do we do then? We do it all over again. It's not easy to stop doing something that you've been doing, and you get addicted, and addiction is a disease. This is my opinion. That's how I feel about it, because I've been around a lot of people that struggle with addiction, and they want to stop, but they can't stop. And people become addicted to drugs for different reasons. Like I said, sexual abuse, and you want to just like forget about the pain of it all. And what about the sex trafficking situation, when people give you drugs just to hurt you and do things to you? Like, you don't want the drugs, but you're forced to do things to you that are unspeakable and unimaginable, so they become addicts. They need the drugs after they've been forced to have the drugs, or forced to take the drugs, however you want to say it or look at it. And those people didn't want to become addicts. It just happened because they were abused, and that's what happened. It's easy to start something, but it's hard to stop. And a lot of people just, I feel like, can look down on people that struggle with addictions. They look down at them like they're like worthless, and it's sad that our society is like that, when we don't have the people that we need to like uplift them. Like, if you know someone that's on drugs, why can't you just, like, instead of judging them, how about just like talk to them? Like, just ask those questions, like, what's wrong? Like, you don't want to like step on toes, or like ask the wrong questions, or say the wrong thing. But sometimes we have to ask those tough questions and say things that may seem hurtful, but it's to help the person. Like, if you know someone that's struggling with addiction, how about asking them, like, what have you been through in life that made you become addicted to drugs, or make you become an alcoholic? And sometimes the answer is nothing, and I just wanted to try a drug and then I got addicted to it. But then you have others, or a lot of people, that have been through some hard situations and just things that we could never imagine, and they became addicts just to cover up their pain. And that's how it is for a lot of people. We want to hide behind our addiction or our problems, and just like, okay, this is it. I didn't expect to become addicted to drugs, but this is who I am. Until you have that, you're at your lowest point. When you're at your lowest point and you don't have nowhere else to go but up, you get better. And as a lot of people that I personally know that have been addicted to drugs and been alcoholics, that are not, they don't do drugs, or they don't get drunk anymore. It's about healing. Everything leads back to your healing process. It's about what can make you happy besides the alcohol and the drugs. And a lot can make you happy. You just have to want it and seek, like the quote says, happiness. You have to seek it. And when you know that being addicted to drugs and being an alcoholic doesn't define you, and you can still come up from that, and you can be better than what you was, or where you are right now, then everything will be fine. But we have a lot of judgmental people that just think that addicts are just, they're addicts, and they chose this life, and that's not the case. A lot of people didn't choose to be addicted to anything. Like I said, the sex trafficking, you're forced to do unspeakable things, and you're forced to take drugs, or it's no option in that. So what do you say to those people that became addicts because someone put something in their veins? What do you say to them? oh well, you can get off it. No, it's like I said, easy to start something, but so hard to stop when it becomes a habit and when your body wants it and craves it. So we have to be mindful of the things that we say and how we say things. Let's help each other. Let's uplift each other instead of like downing someone that's struggling with addiction. How about just pray for them? Say some inspiring things to them. Like if you was once an addict or an alcoholic, how about you take someone that's struggling with addiction or alcoholism, you take them and you take them underneath your wing. Like you just encourage, like, well, I stopped when it was time for me to stop, and I knew it was time when this happened, or blah blah blah. And when we do that, it will make the world a better place. We have so many people that have overdosed and or like they're dead, they're no longer here, or they overdosed and God still has them here for a reason. And we have to look at it that way. Substance abuse is serious, and a lot of substance abuse comes from being victims of sexual abuse or any type of trauma. And I feel like we should just think before we say and try our best to help those that are struggling and let them know that this is not it for them. Addiction is not it. They can get better. That's it with this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, like, comment. Thank you. And please just try to uplift whoever you can.